It's the intention that matters. It's what's in the heart that matters, okay? Oh yes, he was fight! He was fight back! Gets me, okay? Gets me. Hello book reading friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Melanie, and today I am here with the book series I want to start. There is no way all of these series are going to be started in 2020, but I do have them in my head because I want to start them in 2021. The majority of them I don't even own, like I only think I own 3 out of the 10 I'm gonna be talking about in this video. So I am definitely making this video with the top 10 series to read to push myself to actually start these series, because if not, there is nothing to hold me accountable. And if you have read any of these, let me know down in the comments below because I am super interested to hear all of your thoughts. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to do so down below for more bookish content. I am constantly uploading videos that I am sure you do not want to miss, as well as live streaming throughout the week, doing my weekly reading sprints. You can also follow me on all of my social medias, which are always linked down below, as well as my Amazon wish list. And yeah, without a further ado, let's get right on to the book series I want to start. The first one on my list is probably a series that I am the most excited about. Like in general, I'm excited for all of these, but there's just something about this particular duology, because I believe it is a duology, that calls to me a bit more than some of these books. The cover is gorgeous, the synopsis sounds incredible, and I cannot wait till I own this because it sounds like a dream. And I am talking about Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This book is pitched as a Project Runway meets Mulan, and that right off the bat, like, you know, when books are pitched a certain way and they just call to you, that's exactly what this book is. And in this book, we follow a girl who poses as a boy to compete for the role of the imperial tailor, and she has the impossible task of sewing 3 magical dresses, one from the moon, one from the sun, and one from the stars. The main character, Maya, has always dreamed of becoming one of the greatest tailors in the entire land, and her father was exactly that while she was growing up. So once they receive a letter calling her father back to court, she decides to pose as a boy and fill in his shoes. And while she is in this competition that is truly competitive because everyone wants to earn this position, she actually ends up drawing the attention of the court magician who's called Eden. I always mess up names. So she embarks on this super dangerous yet thrilling journey to seek the stars, the sun, and the moon. Just the Project Runway element meets Mulan. It's just something unlike I've ever seen before in books. I don't know, I first read the synopsis, I saw the cover, and it was game over for me. So hopefully I'll be getting this soon so that I can read this. This is definitely one of the series that I want to start in the beginning of 2021. For some reason, it's giving me like wintry, springy vibes. I may be completely off with the vibe of the book, but honestly, it's just what it's giving me. And I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it or even read it, because I feel like nobody's talking about it. The next book on my list is actually a Latinx duology, again, if I am not mistaken, and it is Luisona by Romina Garber. And the central part of this story revolves around Argentina and Argentinian characters. Just look at the little tagline for this book. Some people are illegal. Lobisonas do not exist. Both of these statements are false. In this book, we follow Manuela Azul, who, as an undocumented immigrant who's on the run from her father's Argentinian crime family, is confined to this small apartment and hiding in Miami, Florida. However, that safety bubble that she's built for herself is shattered when her surrogate grandmother is attacked, her mother is arrested by the ICE, and lies are exposed. Now Manu, without a home and without answers, embarks on this journey to try and find out what truly is happening. The only clue she has is a Z emblem that has been haunting her entire life, which could uncover, potentially, a world that was hidden within our own. She uncovers a world straight out of Argentinian folklore, where the 7th consecutive daughter is born a bruja, and the 7th consecutive son is born a lobizon, which is technically a werewolf. As she starts uncovering her own story and this new world that she's entered, she realizes that her stay in Miami is not the only illegal thing, but her existence is also highly illegal. It just sounds incredibly exciting, and it looks like it'll deal with terms of immigration and family and finding yourself, and those are all things that I really love to read about in books, and especially when it's a fantasy with really well woven themes in it. It just elevates the experience even more. And again, anything Latinx just excites the hell out of me. I have seen the book without its just jacket and it's gorgeous. Like, it has a little moon and stars, and I just need this book so much because I want to read it so bad, especially with the second installment coming out next year. I am in preparation of the second book coming out, so hopefully again it'll be a book I'll own soon enough so that I can get into it. Let's talk about a book that I have owned for forever, and I actually started this back in the day and then I never finished the book, never picked it back up, and I know the trilogy is already complete, so this is definitely one that I want to get into, and it is the Magnus Chase trilogy by Rick Riordan. The first book in the trilogy is called The Sword of Summer, and we follow Magnus Chase, who after his mother told him to run 2 years in the past, he has been living in the streets of Boston, surviving truly by his wits and avoiding the police as much as he can. However, one day Magnus encounters his uncle Randolph, who's been tracking him down and trying to find him, and this uncle in particular is one that his mother warned him against because she always told him that the uncle was absolutely crazy. And indeed, once he meets his uncle, he starts saying the craziest things about Norse mythology and Magnus's birthright, which is a weapon that has been lost for thousands of years. And so, like any Rick Riordan book, I am guessing after that incident, everything starts going downhill, and I'm guessing, I'm really not sure, that Magnus will have to go on a quest to find this weapon and find out who he truly is and whom he's descended from, which is always exciting. Just look at the last line in the synopsis of this book. Sometimes the only way to start a new life is to die. This just sounds incredible, and I do know from what I've heard, and I may be completely wrong, I think this trilogy somehow ends up connected to the Percy Jackson series. I don't know how. This is more YA than middle grade because if I am not mistaken, I think when we start the book, Magnus is like 16. All right, another first book that I own from a trilogy that I really want to get into. I first want to get the audiobooks so that I can get the best of both worlds, because I have heard that the experience of reading and listening at the same time is just incredible. So I just want to get the full experience again. But I do have this book thanks to Deja, who bought it off my wish list, and I am talking about Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is the first book in the Illuminae files, and again, it is a trilogy, and the concept of this is so intriguing to me, but also, if you know anything about me, you know I'm not big into sci-fi, and I say this a million times. I feel like I say it every chance I get, but every time I've asked for recommendations of what are the best books to get into the genre, people always say Illuminae, and so I feel this will really introduce me to the world of sci-fi. And just the way that the synopsis is crafted at the back, it looks like a file, but it's the way that these little lines right in the middle of each section is written. It says, "Error. And now, with no other option, they have turned to me. Plucked me back from the black they left me in, thinking I will save them. And I will. Of course I will. Am I not merciful? Error." Oh my god. Just, I've never read those little parts in between. Oh my god, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. I have to be honest, I don't know too much about this book, but some of my friends adore Illuminae, so I'm just over here being like, I want to keep it that way. I want to know the bare minimum, but it is mixed media. And just the way that it's told in files is so fascinating. Just the formatting of the book is something so unique. But I do know we follow our two main characters, Katie and Ezra, who have broken up because the chemistry is just not there. They fell out of love. And the same day that they break up, a war breaks out. I really may be lying about them breaking up that same day, but I heard that somewhere or read that somewhere, and I just know they're broken up. They don't talk to each other. They want nothing to do with each other. And then they're stuck on a ship together trying to figure out exactly what's happening. As Katie hacks into a tangled web of data to find the truth, it's clear only one person can help her. The ex-boyfriend she swore she'd never speak to again. And that's as far as my knowledge goes. Sounds so exciting. Again, just the mixed media aspect is the thing that intrigues me the most. Heard nothing short of incredible things, and the concept of two exes stuck together in the midst of a war just sounds incredible, because I feel like this may just be lovers to enemies to lovers again. Hopefully, maybe. Next up on my list, I have one that has been completely influenced by Aaron over at Booked and Busy. I have to admit, one of the only things that really intrigued me was the fact that Pierce Brown is HOT. However, upon hearing Aaron rave about this series, I was just like, okay, if Aaron loves this, I must check it out, read the synopsis, see what it's about, and now I am indeed intrigued. And I am talking about Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This series truly came out such a long time ago, I feel like, and I am super late on the bandwagon, but again, Aaron has been raving about this lately, and if Aaron loves, I must check it out. And I believe Red Rising is a dystopian, if I am not mistaken, because we do follow Darrow, the main character, and Darrow is a red, which is the lowest caste in the color-coded system of the society they live in. Just like the rest of the reds in the society, he works all day, truly believing that what he is doing will mark a difference into future generations who could possibly live in Mars. That all changes, however, once Darrow finds out that his kind has been betrayed because the surface was actually touched generations ago. The Reds are truly nothing more than slaves in this world. So in a plot of justice, he decides to infiltrate one of the most elite academies that are only meant for the gold caste in the society. And now Darrow will be forced to compete for his life and the future of this society, and he will do anything to stop his enemies, including becoming one of them. Again, I have heard Aaron rave about this book, and in general, I feel like back in the day, the rave for this book was so big. Not the book, but the series in general. And I am so excited to jump into this particular series in 2021. Now, I know Red Rising is technically a series. However, the main trilogy is the one that follows Darrow, and then after that, I think the events are after what happens in the main trilogy, which is something that intrigues me very much, that Peters Brown was able to connect past and present, or like present and future in a way. I don't know, but it sounds super exciting to me. Again, it's like sci-fi, dystopian, and those are all things that for some reason I'm very interested in right now. Next up is a series that my opinion has also been heavily influenced by those surrounding me, and the two people who I hear constantly talking, actually three people that I have heard constantly talk about this series, is Joel from Fictional Fates, Jade from JD Ray Reads, and then Rachel from Let Me in the Library. By the way, every booktuber that I'm mentioning will be tagged down below in case you want to check out their channels, but if you're subscribed to any of them, then you know the three of them hold a very special love for City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Now, City of Brass is one that kind of intimidates me because overall the general consensus is so positive that I'm just over here being like, anything that is too hyped and I didn't get into it at the right time and I'm getting now into it when it's again so hyped kind of scares me. However, I really want to give the series a shot. I really want to read it and see what it's all about. I have heard it's a little bit more complicated. I'm down for some complicated. I love me some good world building. I love me some incredible characters, and it seems that this book will have all of the above. In this book, we follow Nari, who has never believed in magic, but she does have a certain power of her own because she rules the streets of 18th century Cairo, because she is a con woman, so she literally owns the streets. She will do absolutely anything to get by, including some tricks that she doesn't really believe in, except one day she actually summons a very sly, dark, and mysterious Jinn warrior, and she may start believing that magic is more real than she thought it ever was. And I will actually read this part out loud, because if I go by the seat of my pants and try and say this, I think I'll forget, where the warrior tells her a new tale across hot, windswept sands teeming with creatures of fire and rivers where the mythical married sleep, past ruins of once magnificent human metropolises, and mountains where the circling hogs are not what they seem, lies Davabad, the legendary city of brass, a city to which Nari is irrevocably bound. In that city, behind gilded brass walls laced with enchantments, behind the 6 gates of the 6 Jinn tribes, old resentments are simmering. And when Nari decides to enter this world, she learns that true power is fierce and brutal. Magic cannot shield her from the dangerous web of court politics, that even the cleverest of schemes can have deadly consequences. After all, there is a reason they say be careful what you wish for. Lately that I've been interacting more with Jade, she gets so excited when people mention City of Brass, and I'm just over here being like, if Jade loves City of Brass, I really do need to read City of Brass, despite the fact that Rachel also loved it, and then Joel I know did like a reading vlog on it and he adored it. So I'm just here trying to jump into the bandwagon as soon as I can, so hopefully I'll be buying the first book soon enough. Apparently, I don't know if any of these are trilogy, series, duologies, even though I said there was a little bit of everything. Pretty sure this is a duology too, and I'm talking about Bonecryer's Moon by Catherine Purdy. The cover, first of all, is gorgeous, and I didn't own this book up until yesterday because it was actually bought off my wish list by Molly, who is one of my dearest friends here on Booktube. I am so excited for this book, especially with the second one coming out next year. I really want to catch up and see what this whole world is about, because I've talked about this before, but anything that revolves around mates, Mel is there for. And here, apparently, there are mates. The back says, we will have to make our own sacrifices one day, and it will be easier if we don't grow attached to those destined to die. Who's destined to die and why? Just tell me, okay? Let's get into the synopsis, because this is one of the books that I'm probably most excited about in my physical TBR, and I still don't entirely know what it's about. I just know there's a girl and a boy, and they're mates, if I'm not mistaken. Although she's not supposed to have a mate, so I think she needs to kill him. Something along those lines. Let me just read this. Bone criers have a sacred duty. They alone can keep the dead from preying on the living, but their power to ferry the spirits of the dead into Goddess Alara's night heavens or Tyrus's underworld comes from sacrifice. The gods demand a promise of dedication at the cost of the bone crier's one true love. Oh, we have one of those fantasy names that no one knows how to pronounce unless you read the audiobook. Elise has been prepared since birth to become the matriarch of the bone criers. Ooh, okay. But first she must complete her rite of passage and kill the boy she is also destined to love. Bastian's father was slain by a bone crier, and he's been seeking revenge. Oh my god, this is gonna be an enemies to lovers? Hold up, I'm excited now. Oh my god, enemies to lovers is one of my favorites. Elise's ritual has begun, and now their fates are entwined in life and in death. Enemies to lovers, there's like the mate, one true love elements that I really enjoy in fantasy books. I know a lot of people hate it. I personally am a sucker for those. So beautiful cover, interesting plot, interesting premise. I'm just here for all of it. And again, I didn't know this was enemies to lovers, but that makes so much sense with like the synopsis. So I'm excited to read this, honestly. I may just read this. I don't know. I'm trying to like figure out what my TBR is gonna be for this 24-hour readathon. I'm like, should I include this? Should I not? I still don't know. I think the majority of these series, now that I'm looking at it, have been influenced by other people. The next one is no exception, and it is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And this has been mostly influenced by Molly from Mind of Molly, because she loves The Bone Season. I have never read The Bone Season. I didn't used to have that much interest in The Bone Season. Molly raves about it, I become interested. It's that simple. This book is set in the future. It is set in 2059, which by the looks of it, it's not that far away. In this book, we follow 19-year-old Paige Mahoney, who works in the criminal underworld of Scion, London. Her one job is to scout for information by breaking into people's minds, because Paige is a dreamwalker, a type of clairvoyant. However, in the world of Scion, she is committing treason just by breathing. One day, attacked, drugged, and kidnapped, Paige is taken to Oxford, a city kept secret for 200 years that is controlled by this otherworldly race. And she is now assigned to Warden, who technically is her sworn enemy in a way, and he is now her master, her trainer, her everything. So in order to gain her freedom, Paige must be transformed into this person that they want her to be, because if not, she will die. And so again, it was a series that I didn't hold that much interest for, but again, the element of being something that is forbidden in society, but then there also being like a secret society element to it, like an otherworldly race, seems like fantasy sci-fi again, and I don't know what's happening with me. Maybe I'm being like turned into a sci-fi believer, because this was not like a thing before. It just sounds like Paige will have an incredible character arc, that she will gain more power than she ever believed, that she is going to be like the most badass main character ever, and I am ready for it. And I may be completely off, like I don't know, maybe she ends up falling with Warren, maybe not. Warden. I can't remember his name anymore, but the thing is, if they end up falling in love, that's like a plus to me, but I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. Next up, I have one that everyone on book Twitter has been raving about, and it is the Green Bone Saga by Fonda Lee, with the first book, Jade City. Just look at this, okay? Jade City is a gripping Godfather-esque saga of intergenerational blood feuds, vicious politics, magic, and kung fu. The Kale family is one of the two crime syndicates that control the island of Kekon. It's the only place in the world that produces rare magical jade, which grants those with the right training and heritage superhuman abilities. The Greenbone clans of honorable jade-wearing warriors once protected the island from foreign invasion. When the simmering tension between between the Kales and their greatest rivals erupt into open violence in the streets, the outcome of this clan war will determine the fate of all Greenbones and the future of Kekon itself. I have heard incredible things about this book. I have heard everyone be an Elo stan. I don't know who Elo is. I know there's this character called Baron, I think. Oh, Barrow. And I'm intrigued, okay? I've seen people rave about this book. I know Aaron also loves this. I know Kristen from Books and More with Kristen G, which is one of my closest friends here on Booktube as well, loved Jade City. So again, another one of those books, I'm just like, I need to jump into this bandwagon and see what it's all about. Besides the fact that I can't remember who exactly mentioned this, but somebody said, if you like magic with consequences, this is the book for you. And that definitely sounds incredible to me. It seems like when they consume this jade, the aftermath of it is not gonna be pretty. And so I love me a good magic-esque system that comes with consequence, because what is taken must be given back in a way. And so that seems a little bit more realistic to me. Definitely getting into it in 2021, but excited nonetheless about it. And then last but not least, I have a duology that everyone has loved, or at least that I have heard of, and it is one that I am excited like nothing else about. Like, I really want to get into this, okay? I really want to get into this. I am talking about Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. The tagline of this book opens with, "They killed my mother. They took our magic. They tried to bury us. Now we rise." Am I the only one who gets chills reading that? I'm just over here like, oh yes, he must fight back. So I'm just excited, okay? Taglines always get to me. Like, sometimes I just read the taglines and I'm like, I'm good. I must read nothing else. And this is definitely one of those. Celia de Bola remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic. Burners ignited flames, tiders beckoned waves, and Celi's Reaper mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed the night magic disappeared. Under the orders of a ruthless king, Magi were killed, leaving Celi without a mother and her people without hope. Now Celi has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarchy. With the help of a rogue princess, Celi must outwit and outrun the crown prince who is hellbent on eradicating magic for good. Danger lurks in the land, but Celi's greatest obstacle will be trying to stop herself from falling for the enemy. Enemies to lovers, magic systems, high stakes, a revenge plot by the seams of it. It just sounds, again, like everything I enjoy in fantasy, and I am excited about this one. The cover is probably one of the most gorgeous covers I've seen. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to get into this. This is probably another one that I really want to get into in early 2021, because I have been putting it off for the longest time. I haven't even got the first book, so definitely need to get into that as well. Anything that has a quest and a mission, but particularly for like justice and revenge, I am here for it. I am here for all of it. And those are all the books that I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have read any of these series, please let me know down below in the comments, because I am incredibly excited for all of these. Also, let me know down below if there are any series that you are excited about starting maybe next year, because I am always looking for the next book to add to my TBR. If you reach the end of the video, also comment down below some stack of book emojis. I feel it's only fitting because we are talking about book series, so those are a lot of books. So let's do the stack of books this time. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more bookish content. Again, I am constantly uploading videos that I'm sure you won't want to miss, as well as live streaming throughout the week, which is always super fun because I get to interact with all of you. You can also follow me on all of my social medias, which are always linked down below, as well as my Amazon wish list in case you want to support me and my channel and give me a book. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I love you all, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.